I'm Gail and welcome back to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com. Today we're going to make a low-carb burger bun. Now I found this recipe on beautyandthefoodie.com. I wanted to try it. I'm impressed. It's one of the better ones, I think, and I wanted to share it with you. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. So I'm going to make my recipe in my Ninja machine this time. So let's get started. I've got 4 eggs, and with this Ninja it has all different size containers that you can work with, and originally when I got it I really wasn't sure if I liked it that much, but the more I'm using it the more I do really like it. Now we're going to add 2.5 teaspoons of golden flaxseed meal. Now what I did was I buy my flaxseed whole, and with my Ninja machine I've got this little blade and a cup, and I put in just enough to do this recipe, so I did 1.5 tablespoons, which makes 2.5 tablespoons when I'm finished. So that worked out really well, and it fines it up so nice. It grinds it up just beautifully. I think you'd really like it, and it's a lot cheaper doing that than buying the flaxseed meal already. So the next thing we have is 2.5 tablespoons of coconut flour. So I want to sift it. So I'm just going to, hopefully this will work for you. I'm just going to sift it here on the side so that I can have it nice and sifted and I don't have any lumps. And I'm trying to do it on the side because I don't want to get it into the hole of the blade and then I'm losing some of it. Now I find that coconut flour takes a while to absorb, so using this food processor really helps it mix a lot nicer. So the next thing we're going to add is 3.5 teaspoons, I'm going to put in my teaspoon of baking powder first. So I've got my baking powder, and then I'm going to add 3.5 teaspoons of heavy cream, or whipping cream is what I've got here. I put a little extra in there by mistake, so hopefully it's not going to hurt it too badly. And the last thing we're going to put in is 2 tablespoons of soft butter. Now I have basically melted the butter, and it works just as lovely that way. So I'm going to bring over my Ninja machine. So I'm going to insert the bowl that we were working with. We'll put on our lid, and then I am just going to start to push the button for dough and mix it up. There we go. So we're just going to scrape off the batter. And then I've got, all I have to do is take out the inside of this container here. Just amazing, this product, the different pieces that they have and everything else. So I'm just going to slide over my whoopie pan. And what I've done is I've got a piece of wax paper. It's kind of funny, when I was brought up, we always used Kleenexes and we would put butter. And I'm using butter this time. You can use coconut oil or whatever. But we used to always use a Kleenex, and there would be all little lint particles in the butter, in the baking goods. And it's funny, my mom's living with us now, and she says, you need to use a Kleenex. And I started to giggle. I said, no, Mom, I don't use the Kleenex. I'm going to be using the wax paper just because it does do that. It leaves a lot of lint, and I don't like the lint in my baking goods. So that was just a kind of a history of what we used to do when we were kids, I guess. So I've got a whoopie pan here, and I've got butter. I greased it with butter. Even though it's Teflon, I don't really like Teflon, but you can't seem to get whoopie pans without. And I actually found this one at Winners. But you can buy them online. Sometimes they're really hard to find. But I kind of lucked out the other day. I found a little pan the size of tea biscuits, and I found it at the Salvation Army, and I paid $1 for it. So it is really, it's one of my favorite stores actually. It's really worthwhile looking there before you go looking for the full price products, because a lot of people just don't use stuff anymore and they get rid of it. So we're just going to make this a little more even, and I'm going to put it in the oven at 400 for approximately 12 minutes. The last time I baked them, it was 12 minutes in it, and it was perfect. So I'm just going to wiggle them around here, and we'll get them in the oven. Now I just took them out of the oven. I had them in there for 12 minutes. In her recipe it's 12 to 15, but with my oven 12 was plenty. So I'm just going to let them cool down a little bit, and then I'll put them on a tray. So here are our buns. I've cut this one already. They are nice, they're sturdy, they're very thin, if you can see the thickness right there. I don't know if you can see that okay or not. So I'm just going to show you. They are thin looking, but they work really, really well as the bun. So if you just take it along the edge of the bun and just follow the circle around, you will have plenty of bun for the top and bottom. If you would like, you can use one of each, but I highly recommend just doing it this way, because you don't need tons of bun, and it's just got a really good flavor, and it's one of the better ones that I've seen that I like. So remember that I found this recipe on beautyandthefoodie.com is where I found this recipe. It's quite sturdy. I quite like it. Can't talk, I got my mouth full here. It's very good. I think you're really going to enjoy it. If you go to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com, try this recipe and try some of my other ones. You take care, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye now.